new iPod Touch is now out, and or at least they announced that you can get it within a few weeks, and it is going to have the new A4 chip and the Retina display, and those features were included, of course, in the iPhone 4. And again, they're going to be basically the same, although the design for the iPod Touch is going to be a little different, and it's the only difference, again, is the calls. And why do some people buy the iPod Touch instead of the iPhone? And of course, the reason is that they don't want to deal with AT&T. AT&T is known for having bad call quality, even though I haven't found that to be true. That's what they're known for, and not a good thing to be known for as a cell phone company. But so that's the reason, and people would rather buy the iPod Touch to get the apps because they like, the App Store, and they want the iPod feature. Of course, it is an iPod, and they want to use that and another cell phone and use those as kind of like combined in iPhone without AT&T. And that's what they want to do, and if they want to do that, that's the reason that they buy it. And the new iPod Touch justify doing that? In my opinion, it won't, because most people who would do that would probably buy a new phone every year and a half, 2 years. So you're losing every year by buying a new phone $100 to $150, because instead of having just the iPhone, you have two separate things, and you're spending to upgrade them continuously. So you're actually losing hundreds and hundreds of dollars over a few years just because you didn't want to use AT&T's service. For some people, that's worth it to them. It isn't to me. But that's just what I think. If you can afford to do that, though, then it might make sense to buy it. The iPad, on the other hand, also has the iPod feature. It has all these features, and it's bigger. And so it's more expensive. But if you wait a little while for Apple with their A4 chip, and when they get that into the iPad, then it might make a lot of sense to buy the iPad instead of the iPod Touch. And the advantage of the iPod Touch is that it's more portable than the iPad, obviously. The iPad is about, I think, it's probably it's more than double the size of the iPod Touch. And that's why people buy it, and that's a good reason, although I haven't found that to be a factor. I have an iPad. I don't have it sitting with me here, but I do have one. I haven't found it to be a problem. I carry it around wherever I go. I always just carry it in my hands, and it's just worked out. There's never been a problem with it at all. If people don't feel comfortable doing that, a lot of people carry a backpack. They could put it in there. So I really don't buy the portability as a factor in that, because it's possible, if you really want to make the iPad as portable as the iPod Touch. Of course, the iPod Touch is less expensive, and they don't want to pay that much for these features. But that's kind of messed up logic, because you're wasting hundreds of dollars already to buy the extra iPod Touch. So that I wouldn't really consider a factor. If you want to buy the iPod Touch to use as your cell phone through Skype, that is a great idea. That's a great idea. I use the iPad with Skype, but using the iPod Touch with Skype is just a great idea, as opposed to buy the iPhone. And so the iPad, you're already sinking hundreds of dollars, but depending on how stable your financial situation is, it really makes more sense if you want it because of the iPod feature, because of the games, because of the apps, because of everything that it offers. then it makes actually more sense to buy the iPad. Some people just don't justify spending the money, but they already justify spending the what will be hundreds of dollars for the iPod Touch. And actually, I wouldn't say that AT&T's service is a factor anymore. It really doesn't make sense at this point to buy the iPod Touch, because people have said that, probably in like January 2011, we're going to have the ability to use Verizon with the iPhone. So you might as well just wait until then. That would make more sense, at least to me, than at this point going out spending $200 or $300 on the iPod Touch because you don't want to deal with AT&T, but you want all those features anyway. And it doesn't make as much sense. It's just now just waiting a few months for the iPhone to be able to be used on other carriers, and then you can just buy it and use it on other carriers, and you're saving $300 because now instead of having an iPod Touch and another cell phone, you only have the one cell phone that it's a mixture of the cell phone and the iPod Touch, so it's better than those. So at this point, it really doesn't make sense. If though you just can't wait until then, you can't wait 3 or 4 months, and you don't have a lot of money, then I guess if you want to buy the iPod Touch, of course you could. But if you don't have a lot of money, you shouldn't be spending the money anyways. So, logically, I don't find a way to justify buying the iPod Touch over the iPad or waiting for the iPhone, but that's just my opinion. If you're planning on buying the iPod, tell me why you justify it, why you're getting it, and maybe we can start a discussion. And check me out at bit.ly/TechKidRWP, and follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/TechHelp101, as well as watch more videos like these at youtube.com/TechKidHelp101. So, see you there. Bye.